Hi, I'm Mad Uncle Morgan, and today we're going to be talking about whether it's the true will of an occult writer to have their work be pirated. This is based on a conversation from Facebook that I stumbled across. Conversation originally was about the value of the book Self-Initiation of the Golden Dawn Tradition. And the opening of the conversation is, your standard pro and con conversation. And there's three people involved in this conversation. There's a guy by the name of Dale, another person by the name of Weaver, and then there's a person by the name of Lee. So we go out the pro and con thing, and Dale goes, the PDF is easily found. And Lee responds, I try to avoid pirating books from living authors used to work in publishing. Okay, so we now know Lee's position. Okay, we can predict everything that's about to be said from their end. Just like we can predict everything that's about to be said on the other end. So, we have the comment about PDFs, the response of trying to avoid book piracy of living authors, and then we get the good one. Dale goes, I pay with attention. I repeat, he said, I pay with attention. So we know this is going to be bad. So let's get to it. Lee goes, how is attention useful to a writer when it comes to paying their bills? Again, used to work in publishing. Dale overlooks what she just said and goes, it seems like you made the right choice to get out of publishing. Doesn't seem to make much sense in our world today. Just like the artists selling their music, the money is in the touring. Times have changed. Information that people used to die for is readily available. God. Grammar, people. Punctuation. Lee responds to the comment that the money's in the touring by going, I got out of publishing because of people pirating books. Basically, piracy killed my livelihood as an editor in the company that I was working for. But I suppose that's all right because piracy is a victimless crime. Dale goes, I'm sorry, man. Then Lee asks the $1,000 question. So do you actually go to conventions to help support occult writers? Because I don't know too many people who do. This one time, a third party jumps in. A person by the name of Weaver, okay? Who goes, I seriously doubt that the author of the book mentioned wrote and published it with the intent to pay his bills. Most, if not all, of the writers and presenters I know who bring forth this information do it for the sake of making it available and care nothing about if they make a profit or not, because it's beyond the scope of their true will. Lee tosses in the comment of, well, I understand that David Griffin refuses to write any more books for the public because of piracy. Maybe we can get him to weigh in on the true will part. By the way, never weighs in. Not surprising because he quite often refuses to weigh in on anything anymore. Anyway, Weaver continues, I'm in the process of writing a book which, when it's finished, will contain a large amount of information that I believe can benefit and help expand the consciousness of anyone who chooses to read it. That being said, the only profit I stand to make is to elevate my fellow brothers and sisters to a higher level of consciousness, one that will help our species along its evolutionary process towards perfection. And Dale jumps in and goes, yeah, that's what it's all about. Lee, on the other hand, is not buying into any of this stuff. Gotta love this person. So because it's your true will, it must be the true will of all occult writers to do this. Dale, babbling. If you have some wisdom or deep understanding, you don't hoard it and sell it to the highest bidder. Lee comes up with a perfect fucking response to this. Tell that to E.A. Cottony. And Dale laughs and goes, yeah, I heard he charges $200 an hour for a session. I don't believe in selling knowledge, understanding, or wisdom. Weaver jumps in and is responding to the true will question. I never said that, but I would also never buy anything from an occult writer with sole intention was to make a profit, because chances are it's garbage anyway. That being said, there's nothing wrong with people charging money for the services they provide. Weaver goes on to say, information isn't owned by anyone and nobody has the right to hold on to it. That's what it's all about, the open sharing of information. Please note, this conversation's happening on Griffin's Golden Dawn group. A group that has trademarked and hoarded information. Okay? Oh, there's been an offer to share the information, but only if you sign a non-disclosure agreement and you admit that Griffin's your master, okay? Basically what it boils down to. Dale hops in and goes, when the service can elevate human consciousness as a whole, it should be free. Weaver goes, secret societies are manipulators and controllers, and I'm dedicated to making sure they don't succeed. Please know this is happening on Griffin's forum, okay? And Dale goes, nice, keep up the great work. Do they even read the forum and know the person which forum they're on? Because doesn't seem so. Then Weaver goes, do what thy will should be the whole law, blessing to all of you, love is law, love under will. Lee, on the other hand, is not buying into any of this. She goes, so how much money is an occult writer allowed to make? And what if it's the writer's true will to make money as a writer? Okay, so Weaver, who's kind of backed into a corner here, goes, good point. It very well could be one true will to make money as a writer. I was simply trying to convey it's been my observation that most people who attain deep level of understanding and higher states of consciousness generally share it freely as they can because they hope others can benefit from the gift that was given freely to them as well. Producing such writing enables a person to make a living from it. That's a beautiful thing. I'm actually one of those people who would like to think it possible because I'm a writer myself. LOL. If it's someone's true will to make money by writing, it will be self-evident because they will be making money by writing. Now, Lee is not buying into any of this bullshit, okay? and goes, but it's okay if they're forced to work at Burger King as long as they give you the information freely. Now Dale goes, burn. Now I'm not really sure which party he's actually referring to here. I honestly think that he likes the fact that somebody's stuck working at Burger King. Okay, that's my impression here, okay? I don't think he's on Lee's side. I think he wants to see Lee roasted. And having worked at Burger King myself, it's not a fate I would want to impose on an occult writer. It makes their work ugly, and it prevents them from going to the conventions that supposedly is where you make the money. Okay? Then Weaver goes on to say, I sometimes think to myself, man, I think I was born to write and give this information to people. Maybe it's my true will to do that. Yeah, I've published nothing, have made not one penny, and I've probably actually lost money by being so focused on my writing instead of finding employment. Is it my true will to make money writing? That yet to be seen. What is evident is that my true will to write. Then somebody weighs in and says Chicken Tabitha are annoying and they should be ignored. And then Weaver goes, you've missed the point entirely, Lee. Freedom is greater than money. Lee responds with, tell that to your landlord. I lost my job to piracy. Tell me how that helped me. And then Rick, somebody else hops in, you lost your job to piracy? LMFAO! You lost your job because of you! You would think somebody on this page would know that. Oh, man. This is why I fucking hate occultists, by the way. With a fucking passion, okay? Then Lee responds, so basically it's okay because spiritual people don't need to pay their landlords. This one time, the conversation completely dies. Okay? So, let's, now that we've set the stage for this, let's focus on the highlights, okay? The important stuff. The first point that I think we need to address is the part where Dale goes, just like an artist selling their music, the money is in the touring. And Lee going, do you actually go to conventions? Okay? Deal is, I don't know about most people, but most occultists I know can't afford to go to conventions to support the writers they like in the first place. And how do writers make their money at a convention? Oh, they're doing workshops and selling copies of their book, okay? And the very fact that there's dead silence from Dale about whether or not he goes to conventions to help support basically says that he doesn't. So that excuse for piracy, that he pays with attention and that conventions is where the money is, and that's, you know, so he pays with attention what costs him nothing and doesn't go to conventions. That's how we're reading this. The fact that this goes on is appalling. And then the next thing we need to address is the true will question. Because Weaver goes, you know, most, if not all, of the writers and presenters I know who bring forth this information do it for the sake of making it available and care nothing about whether they make a profit or not, because it's beyond the scope of their true will. Okay. let me point out something to you. If they are publishing the information through a occult publishing house like Llewellyn, they actually care whether that book sells or not. Because if it doesn't sell, Llewellyn will not give them another contract for another book. Therefore, it is part of their true will if they want the information spread out for it to actually sell. And if it's one writer's true will to not make money, is it all writers' true will not to make money? I think that's a falsehood. And I'm quite sure that this person cannot weigh in on the true will of other people. For instance, he's not weighing on my true will. You know, unfortunately, in order for me to write more occult stuff, I have to sell occult stuff. If I don't have sales, then I don't do it. I could frankly care less about elevating the human consciousness towards perfection. If you actually look at evolution, human beings have not been going toward perfection. They've been going towards kind of insane self-destruction. I do love the Cuttany comment, because his true will, Ye's true will, is obviously to sell you stuff. Okay, it's obvious his true will. Okay, and then Weaver going, I will never buy anything from a cult writer with sole intention was to make a profit, because chances are it's garbage anyway. Okay, you have to ignore so many occultists in charge of orders at this point. Oh, I can name two of them. One begins with a G, one begins with a Z. There's a few others I can name too, who basically their purpose is to make money. Okay. It's not about enlightenment, okay? Now, does the principle hold that their stuff is junk? I don't know. I've not seen their entire course, so I don't know. But it's definitely not open sharing of information, because there's trademarks involved. Now, finally, there's this comment that if it's somebody's true will to make money by writing, it will be self-evident because they will be making money by writing. Okay, time out. When has doing your true will been so easy that it just happens? Anybody? No? Okay, just checking, because last time I checked, you go by Thelema, doing your true will is a battle. It's a war. You have to struggle to do your true will. Therefore, just because somebody's not making money writing doesn't mean you can claim that's their true will. And the whole idea, oh, it's true will to write, but you're not writing. Okay, if it's your true will to write, you should at least struggle with trying to put some words on paper. And no, freedom is not greater than money. You can't pay your bills with freedom. You can't pay your bills with attention. Oh, and by the way, being a guest at a convention quite often costs you a lot of money. And it's hard to get to a convention if you're not making enough money to go to the convention in the first fucking place in order to be a speaker. As for the whole, you lost your job to piracy, it's because of your fault. I really resent the whole idea that that human beings are completely responsible for everything that happens in their lives because of them. And that everybody who, if you get shot, it's not the person that shot you that's fault. No, it's you, because you didn't have the right stuff set to prevent yourself from getting shot. Why do I hate occultists? But yeah, it's one of those situations where you have some people who think it's completely okay to rip off writers and have them work at Burger King's and have to struggle to survive so they can get information freely, because it's all about the human consciousness. Now, let me ask you something. Given this, these are evolved human beings in their mind. How evolved is that? That's evolution. If that's perfection, I'm not really sure the human race should go there. Maybe we should stay flawed human beings and continue to pay people money to do what they need to do. That's my opinion. As always, feel free to vomit criticism and anger and aggression about how wrong I am in the comment section, because that's what it's all about, is telling me that I am wrong. Remember, your true will is to tell me that I'm wrong. Have a nice evening.